What's going on, guys? So in this video, I'm just going to show you guys on how to find your overall draw-on liquidity and where you should be expecting price to come up and tap into, which is where I'd most likely set my TPs at. And I could probably go ahead and show you guys some partials as well. Um, so going in for today, we're gonna start off with today's price action. I know it's gonna be a little bit choppy, but actually, I'm gonna move somewhere else because today might not be the best example. All right, so let's focus on ES over here on the left. Okay, so what do we notice? So we have Asia's highs right here, Asia's lows, London highs, London lows. We noticed that during Asia session, the transition with London, or you can still count this as London. London swept Asia. Asia's low is still available, and London's low is also still available. This is pre-market right here. Pre-market ended up sweeping London's high, and as you guys look over, wait, let me see where market opens. So all the way up here is where market opened. Um, Everything else on this area was all liquidity. Um, Let me see if I can go ahead and look on NQ to see if we formed any SMTs in this area. Okay, so I was about to say ES would have swept all these liquidities up here. These would be our high time frame liquidities. These are like low time frame liquidities that previous sessions didn't end up sweeping. But if you take a look on NQ, we ended up sweeping everything on the left side. So since everything was already swept on buy side liquidity, I would be expecting shorts on this time um, for two reasons. One of them was what was going on with news, and the other one is because we have our high time frame SMT right here. For those of you that don't know what a SMT is, I have a video that should be available for you guys to touch base onto that, but I'll quickly explain it right here. So an SMT is when you have two matching pairs, correlated pairs, which would be ES and NQ. It's when one pair ends up sweeping liquidity and the other pair fails to sweep liquidity, making that an SMT. So most of you guys would know is that when price sweeps liquidity, it's obviously a liquidity sweep, and you would expect some type of reversal. But that is never guaranteed. Sometimes the market will come back up, re-sweep that liquidity, and then have its continuation downwards or whatever trend it was in. But this is like a majority of the time, especially if it's a high time frame SMT, uh, a guaranteed price reversal. Like I said, as you can see, we have our high time frame liquidity right here. You line it up, NQ gets swept. Same thing over here. ES fails to sweep it, creating our SMT. This will be our bullish SMT. A bearish SMT will be down at the lows. In a bearish SMT, you would have expectations of bullish order flow, price reversal from bearish to bullish, bullish to bearish. But as you can see though, as we're all the way up here and we swept all buy side liquidity, what is our main focused on now? Obviously the liquidity and PD raise that we have all aligned in this area. So what I usually target is Asia's highs and lows and London's highs and lows. I mean that's basically it. Some of them would be previous highs on a higher time frame. Um, but majority of the time we're just focused on this small little area. So when New York opened, we manipulated up, created our high time frame SMT, and we had our continuation downwards. Our main drawn liquidity would be two things here. One, be London's low as our drawn liquidity. Two would also be our Asia low. Um, as you guys can see, where is it? As you guys can see, we ended up sweeping both London and Asia on NQ, but failed to sweep Asia's on ES. So NQ swept London and Asia's lows. ES only swept London's low. So which leaves us Asia's low still available. And here's another example. What happens after one pair sweeps the liquidity and the other fails to? We have our price reversal. So right here, you're able to see a temporary small price reversal. Probably in some kind of PD ray, but I'm not moving on to a different time frame because I don't want to lose my spot. So, I mean, that's really basically it. It's gonna be like, actually, I want to also include um extra confluence that you guys can also target. So let's see. I use midnight open and um daily open and 8:30 open as target points on where the market usually ends up tapping into. So for just a quick example, you can see that NQ failed to tap into midnight's open as ES already tapped into it. And that right there, it's not, I mean, yes, this could be considered like a low time frame SMT. It's very small because we have just chop right up here. But if we have a black candle and then a white candle right next to it, we can create our liquidity mark right there. But I mean, it's basically the same thing though. ES over here taps into midnight and doesn't close below it. We only wick it out, and NQ fails to do that. And what did we see? Yeah, I mean, yes, we also see our high time frame SMTs um, on these pairs, but we had a price reversal. And what would my drawn liquidity be? Well, because we had our bearish SMT at these lows, and what do we notice? We have all this liquidity resting above us. Since there's no more liquidity down at the bottom, the only thing that we have is, yes, we do have Asia's low right here, but you got to follow what price action is doing. Follow order flow. Are we respecting discount PD raise, premium PD raise? You know what I mean? We got to notice overall what the market is trending. Um, but looking at London's high, we have this London high liquidity right here as liquidity and pre-market highs right here. So for going into today, even though we did have news, I wanted to see London's highs get swept, and that was my high time frame draw on liquidity, which would just be DLO, draw on liquidity. So not exactly this target as my main draw on liquidity. I usually use previous session highs and lows as my overall high time frame DLL, but for example, how I also brought up that I would mention how to take partials is basically the same thing. Um, right here, obviously, is our high time frame liquidity, but let's say I entered right here, which I did. I entered right here today and was like targeting up here. My stop was, I don't know. But if you're able to find an entry in this little chop zone, you would have two drawn liquidities. You can either set full TP right here, depending on your risk management, full TP right here, and another full TP right here. But if I was in earlier and knew that price was gonna smack into these London highs, I would be placing partials. So I would have this liquidity mark as TP1, and final TP would be London's high. Um, Once you guys get the hang of this, you guys would for sure understand on where the market is going overall. I mean, like I said right here, um, London swept Asia's high. We left London high available, and London's low got swept from pre-market, and we created a SMT down here. So since there's no more focused liquidity on sell side, what do we look now? On buy side liquidity, there's all this resting liquidity right up here, and that's where price usually wants to target up to. If not, create an SMT. But in this case, we did not create any SMT. Um, we were just really bullish with everything. But yeah, that's gonna be all for you guys. On where I would be setting partials, how I use midnight open, daily open, in previous session highs and lows.